Hey guys, and welcome to the first episode of the FTE swap. So what we're going to be doing is pulling out the 1HDT that's currently in my 80 series here and putting in a 1HD FTE out of a 03 78 series. So it's basically the same block, just everything else has been changed, going from mechanical to electronic injected. So electronic fuel pump, still mechanical injectors, and just really revised version and a lot better. So a little bit about my car. So this is a VX Sahara 91. So it's got 4-inch lift and 35-inch tyres, and it's got all factory lockers, factory sunroof, fridge. It's got all the works. So it's a really nice car. It's just the old engine is a little bit tired now. It's got 515 Ks on it, and rather than rebuilding it, I thought I'd just put the newest and greatest in there. So let's start pulling apart. Okay, so we're going to start pulling apart the 80 now to get the engine out. So rather than going up out of the top, it's a little bit sketchy with an engine crane and a little bit on the dodgy side. So what I'm going to do is actually I've degassed the aircon, and I'm going to take the bull bar off, the rad support out, the radiator, the condenser, and then the whole front will be open. So then I can just pull the engine pretty much up a little bit and straight out. So I'm going to leave the gearbox in the car, and I'm just going to unbolt the gearbox and leave it on a jack on some stands, and then just pull the engine out from the gearbox. So pulling it out shouldn't be too much of an issue. Getting it lined back up again with the box is going to be a little bit tricky, but it's been done before, so it shouldn't be too bad. It's just a lot safer than doing it all as one hit, and it's just really heavy. It's a really heavy engine. So yeah, now I'm pretty much just going to take it all apart and see what we get to today. Hopefully, I'm planning on getting this engine out and the new one in one day. So we'll see how we go, because we've got a lot of wiring to do. So I want to have the majority of the weekend designated to wiring. So let's see how we go. So this is the FTE engine I've picked up from the wreckers. So I got this from JTW Auto Wreckers, just down in O'Connor. So you get it as conversion. So you have to ask that you want a conversion type FTE engine. So they'll give you the ECU, the wiring harness, all the sensors, just everything you need in order to plonk this into a different chassis. So this one's got about 180,000 Ks on it. It's in relatively good condition by the looks of it. It's already had an EGR block done on it, which is good, because I was going to take the intake manifold off and clean that all out, because they're notorious for gunking up and obviously lose a lot of power. So don't have to do that, which is handy. The fan and all that looks pretty new. The turbo on it looks pretty new as well. I'm actually going to be taking that off because I'm going to put my G-turbo on there. So I'll probably just sell that and get a little bit of money back. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be taking this one apart, just replacing all the sensors. So I've got a whole load of Toyota parts. I've got new timing belt, new rocker cover gasket. Going to need that when we, because you need to pop the cam gear and plate off to take the water pump out. I've got a timing belt tensioner, got a rear main seal, the intake crossover gasket. We've got an idle wheel for the timing belt, a new thermostat and gasket, got the cam seal, and obviously the genuine water pump as well. So now we'll get stuck into it. We'll just strip everything down. Also do a valve set on it, or just check it anyway, make sure that's all sweet. So then when we pull the other one out, we just have to swap the turbos over, put the flywheel and clutch setup from that one onto this one, and then it's pretty much just ready to plonk in. Don't have to touch it. So let's get stuck into it. Okay, so what we've done is just taken off everything off the front of the motor. So we're now down to the timing belt. So yeah, that's good. Now we need to just take off the rocker cover, because we need to take off the cam gear and then take off this backing plate, which then exposes the water pump. So in order to remove this cam gear, we need to hold the cam. You can't just try to undo it. Won't be very nice. So it's got a 1-inch or 25mm hex on the number 1 lobe of the cam. So you can just put a shifter on there or a spanner, hold it, and then rattle that bolt off. So we're going to have to remove this whole crossover assembly. Ta-da! I've undone all the electrical plugs and vacuum lines and stuff like that. There are a few vacuum lines that plug into down near the rock cover, so just be aware of that. And so we've just got 4 bolts to remove now, and then we can just lift this whole assembly out and remove all the rock cover. Okay, so we've removed the rocker cover now. It's quite a bit of a mission to get that off because the insulation sticks to the rocker cover from the top cover plate. So you just got to jimmy that off quite carefully. Now when you take the rocker cover itself off, just be quite careful because there's a dowel here and here, and you don't want to snap the cover when it's stuck on those dowels, because I think it's about $600 to replace that valve cover, so definitely don't want to be snapping it, and being plastic, it's quite easy to do. So this is why the FTE engine is so much better than the 1HDT. So the 1HDT, which is the engine that I have in my car at the moment, is a 12 valve head. So you've got a single camshaft, and then it's shim and bucket. So the valve, the cam lobe pushes directly onto what they call a shim and bucket, which sits on top of your valve spring and valve. So your cam lobe is basically just pushing directly on top of the valve. And in order to correct your clearance, you have a little shim, and you can adjust the size of that shim in order to get your lash. So that's not very good, because what you do is the cam has to ramp up and slow down, and it puts quite a lot of force on there just slapping around, so you'll wear out the cam lobes pretty aggressively. Whereas on this setup, you've got a roller rocker. So you've got a roller here, and then on the cam lobe, so it's constant lash between those two, and you basically like basically an even pressure between them, so it doesn't wear very much, and it's just really nice. And then that pushes onto a bridge, because it's got 24 valve head rather than 12 valves, so it pushes on a bridge which pushes down on both valves at once. So you've got 2 intakes, 2 exhausts, and then you can adjust it. So you've got a little adjuster here, which is for your main clearance, and then you've got your bridge, you've got a little adjuster there to balance that bridge. So you don't want to really be adjusting that at all. We're going to check the clearance, but if you have that adjusted so it's on the piss a little bit, then when this slaps down it can eventually crack it, because it's only cast. So you want to be quite careful with that, and do it exactly as the manual says. So now we're going to run through, we're going to check all the adjustments of the valves. I don't suspect they'll be out at all. And then we'll do the timing belt and water pump. Cool, let's get stuck into it. Alrighty, so we've pulled off everything in the front here and fitted a new water pump, so a genuine Toyota pump. This is the old one, which is also a genuine Toyota, thankfully, but it's nothing really wrong with it. It probably would have gone again, but you may as well do it while you're behind here, because you got to pull everything off anyway. So there's really no point in doing a timing belt and not doing the water pump. You just always do it on any car. So now that we've done that, we'll just have to clean up the backing plate that goes over here, put a new cam seal in, and then we'll chuck the cam gear back on, torque that up, and put a new timing belt on. Okay, so we've cleaned up all the gasket face here, put the little insulator back in there, put a new cam seal in. Now they don't come pre-greased, these ones, so you just have to get a little bit of grease in the seal there so it doesn't burn on first startup. And then we'll just put a little bit of gasket glue there and down the bottom here. So now we'll put it on. Just make sure that this plate is sitting flat. It shouldn't require a lot of pressure to hold it. If it's not, then you might have like a little vacuum line or something like that stuck underneath there. And it's very thin aluminium, so you will crack it, so just be very careful. And these are 15 foot-pound. We've got the belt on, so we've torqued this up, that's 25 foot-pound. Those are too low of a torque to even use a torque wrench on. And then we've got all that nipped up now. The belt we put on so it's nice and tight here. We've got our alignment marks here and there. And on the injector pump we've got a tiny little nick in the gear and a little divot in the casing there. So now it comes, when you get the genuine tensioner, it comes preloaded. So I've got the little grenade pin. So without further ado, let's do it. So what we'll do now is we'll just give it a few rotations
and just keep checking just to make sure. So obviously you have to do 2 rotations to line it back up again, so we'll just do that now. Now if you're doing this and I don't know, for whatever reason you haven't aligned it correctly and it locks up, just stop, because that means that your valve is hitting the piston. And that's really not good. It'll be pretty hard to turn over because diesels have a lot of compression, but it won't lock up. Okay, so that's pretty much bang on there, and pretty much bang on there. So, I mean, you can't really get it, like if you're a tooth out, it'd be miles out. If you rotate back like that, you'll get lash in all your gear train, so it'll start to come out. That's why you always rotate the one way, because all your gears will start to unbind here and you'll get a lot of clearance throughout the entire unit. So happy with that, that's all good. So now it's time to put the timing case back on, check the valve set, and then she's pretty much ready to go. Alrighty, so we've done new timing belt, new water pump, done a valve set on there, done taking all the turbo exhaust off, put new studs in there, clean that up, snap stud in the block that I had to get out, done a rear main seal, so it's all pretty much ready to go. Now the valve set was quite a little bit out, all the intakes were closed up quite a lot, they're about tooth out, so I've adjusted them back out, and we've also, I found one of the buttons on the rocker was come away, so the retaining clip of the button, it was still held captive because the clearance was not enough for it to come out. But I had to change the adjusting screw and button. It comes as a complete set, which is only about $9 for a new one. So luckily I did check it, and so now we're ready to rock. All the valve sets all sweet, so it should be all good. And yeah, let's start pulling the engine out of the car. Also chucked a new thermostat in there as well. So cooking with gas. Let's get started.